Welcome back to the Revamp Podcast. If you're new here, I am your host, Riley Stoner. Joining me is my co-host, Travis Stoner, and we have our guest, Jim Hurrle, on today. So thank you for being here. This has been a talk in the making for quite some time to get you on the Revamp Podcast, and the day's finally here.
I'm glad to be here.
So thank you for that. So Jim, he is a person that helped create the podcast table in the studio there, and that all come from just an idea of me bringing it up to you.
Yes, it did.
It was I was sitting at my shop. Jim, he comes up to deliver or drop off some shit, and I asked him, I'm like, Jim, how do you make a podcast table out of pallets? Kind of gave me this look of like, what in the fuck are you talking about, Riley? I'm like, what is a good idea? You know, shit's cheap. I can easily get to it. You know, if I need more boards or something, I can easily peel it off. And what was it that you said?
I said pallets are made for two things, hauling shit on and campfires.
Yeah.
I mean, there's people that make shit out of them, and
Yeah.
it looks good, don't get me wrong, but not when you're in the business I am.
No.
I mean, you stack shit on them and just kind of, they keep it off the ground. That's what pallets are made for. But
So I didn't really know that you were in the furniture making business. So once we kind of got an idea, wanted to come check it out, see what kind of furniture or pieces of wood you got. I pull up in your yard and cords of wood, and I'm not talking like firewood. I'm talking like beautiful slabs. Because you have a sawmill and everything, do you not?
Yep.
The whole processing. And
Over the years, I finally got myself a sawmill, so I make my own. I used to hire that out and get it done, but it's once you get your own shit, you can get creative.
Yeah.
You know, where it's going to take you maybe 2 hours to fasten that one log down because it's awkward or it's got Y's or something in, you know. Where these other places ain't going to screw that, or you're on the clock by the hour, you know. Well, you're not going to do it. You're going to throw the shit, you know. That goes to the wood stove. But over the years, you know, you just gather more stuff and more tools and more knowledge. You know, that's one thing. Knowledge and showing other people, you'll never, ever regret learning shit, you know, because in the world we live in, nobody wants to take the time, the energy to deal with it, you know. You go down to the store, you buy the piece of shit, you put the shit together, and then you wonder why it's laying in a pile.
Nope. I'll throw up a picture because what Jim's trying to explain is like an IKEA table or somewhere a little assembly, you know, not throwing them under the bus or anything. But example like this table that we have in front of us, I put it together last night. Flipped up it flips up, I think here, right where the hinges are cracked.
Nice.
Just like that, literally the first flip of the table. And I'll throw up the picture of the table because what you got, it is fucking pure solid trees. Oh, you know, you're hunting in the swamps, getting these things.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, we spent plenty of time hunting.
No.
You know, it's a hunt to find the right trees, to find the right logs, you know. And some of it's repurposed stuff, you know, it's down stuff, some of the stuff that maybe was laying in the water or something. And you drag it out, clean it up, power wash it. You're putting extra effort into it.
Oh.
But it's like opening a present. Once it hits the sawmill, you don't know what it looks like inside until you get to open that log up. And I honestly cut a great big old white oak tree, and the thing is huge. It's 36 inches wide.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, holy fuck was right. Because when I open it up and I'm cutting and took the first one or two off, it just blows your mind.
So how many slabs do you get out of that?
I think I cut about 8 or 10 out of that whole one log.
Holy fuck.
And they're 2.5 inches thick. So then they weigh probably right now 400 pounds, 500 pounds a piece.
Oh,
so they'll dry down, you know. But boy, what a bar top them are gonna make.
Yeah.
You know, it's no gluing this shit together. You know, I like solid one piece if possible. You know, not always works out that way, but that's.
How long does something like that take to dry out usually?
A year and inch, they say.
Okay.
Year and inch.
Year and inch on a green tree. It's about a year and inch on big slabs.
Nope.
You know.
Does that? Oh, sorry.
No.
Does that depend on the type of wood as well?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Your softwoods and stuff are going to dry down a little bit faster than your big oaks and stuff, you know.
And what do you like to scope out for? What's your favorite tree that if you see a beautiful, nice, straight standing tree?
Oh.
If you could pick out of any Species, what would it be?
White oaks.
White oak.
If you can find some white oaks, they're a lot harder to work with, of course. And it's, white pines and stuff are easier to find. But I love the big knots, the knots and.
Them knots are sweet to see.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
And this table here, when you put that stain, what is it? Is it a finish or a stain?
varnish.
Okay,
Right.
varnish on. Dude, that adds so much color.
Yeah.
Just from literally that one swipe, I have a video of it. You just took that brush, you wiped it over them knots, because it was like a lighter. Cause what is that tabletop? Is that a
That white pine.
okay? Yeah.
tabletop.
So there's like a white. I showed you before.
Yep.
Puts one brush of this varnish over, instantly it just turns dark, or it just adds
just-
color to it.
Comes alive.
Yep.
And that's the part, once a guy can get to that part, the game's on,
I love it.
because all the sanding and the cutting and the shaping and, your idea comes alive when you put that first coat of varnish on, because none you know what you're going to have,
So how did you kind of get in this? Like, what the hell made you think of creating furniture?
because I wanted a bar in my shop.
Is that how this all started?
This is how it started, and I wanted something that had to be unique. I didn't want some Formica countertop for a bar.
Yep.
So I start looking and hunting.
Was this in your 20s?
It's been a while.
Okay. Yep.
It's been a while.
Didn't know if Jim had a little wild hair up his ass and
Oh.
some weekend when he's 19 or something.
That's kind of how that works. I don't sleep the best at night. The brain just rolls.
Keeps going. I love it.
And I come up with this, and I said, okay, let's try it,
Yeah.
And being the background I am, love pounding nails, you
Yep.
know. Well, screw it. Then we started out with the bar. Let's just build a bar. Then it was, well, the bar's kind of out of the place with all the sheetrock. Because they didn't, rustic. Then it was build the cabinets. So the cabinets got cedar shakes on. So it looks like you're sitting under a log cabin under the eave.
Yep.
Well, now the rest of the walls are out so then I put all half log on the walls and, half logs in the corners and stuff. So it could just kind of flow into the room. And then, of course, knotty pine on the ceiling. And
So literally one thing after the next.
I just
Kept
love
going.
when new people come over. We're having a bar party. Let's have a few drinks, and we're going to be in the garage. And these people come walking with boots on and snowmobile and sweatshirts, and because we're going into a garage party, and they step one step into the garage, and it's holy shit! I didn't think it would look like this.
That's exactly how it was the first time I walked in. When I walked into your shop, it was unreal.
That's cool that way,
Yeah.
So then that's over the years. If I had spare parts or whatever left over from job, let's build another bar stool. Throw behind my bar, it's good enough, And over time, it worked out,
And you have in your bar there, you have a book you showed me a while ago of all the furniture that you made for
Other people.
clients. Yeah. So did you have your own business doing this?
No, it just kind of did a little bit on the side, It's
Yeah.
on a weekend here or there. And it was great for some people to come over. They could help, pick out their own piece, and stuff. It meant a lot more to these people. Hey, we want a bar, we want a table, we want something. But if you're physically touching a piece of raw wood in this stack that's dirty and, it still looks ugly in the pile for most sake, until you get the sandpaper, the sander on it, like we did,
Yep.
And don't worry, it won't look like this.
Bring us to life.
We got to clean it up some, and once we get it cut into parts and pieces, but I could always be very good at picturing things in my head,
Yep.
and you could see the picture, and sometimes the picture ain't always the best, but and just keep running with it, and it works out.
Kind of let it create itself. That's what I liked seeing with this table here. Because you would tell me, kind of explain what the next steps were, how it would kind of look when it's done. And it's like, I tried picturing it, but I couldn't get what Jim was trying to get.
Right.
He's trying to paint the picture. I'm like, I trust you.
Right.
Just kind of do it. And yeah, once you kind of get doing making this, I'm like, holy shit, like this is a great idea.
Do you think after doing it, do you think it would be easier for you to picture if you did another one?
I don't know. I mean, Jim comes up with different shit every day, but
Yeah.
if it was something similar, yeah.
Maybe the understanding the whole project of it
Yeah.
for sure. I mean, because you would even send pictures, and it's like, every time you were there, it was a different process of it. I mean, it looked completely different. It's like, what is that now? What is that? Then you guys, would adjust some of the what you guys thought, like you said, how you raised it more and just how you
Right.
put the legs on it, but different. And
I think the neatest thing to see was the leg. What the hell do you call them? The spindles.
The spindles.
Getting the spindles because Jim has like a. What are them?
It's it's great big oversized would be a pencil sharpener.
Good way to put it. Yeah.
But they run on 3/4 horse big drills, big tapering bits.
Like this thing would spin me around.
Oh yeah, it would. Especially we use different tamarack wood
Yep.
for your spindles. Well, there's only one spot you can get tamarack wood. That's in the middle of a swamp somewhere, in the middle of the winter, because otherwise you ain't getting to it.
Yep.
And it's a fight because you're dealing with thin ice and but
Playing in a swamp.
playing in a swamp.
Yep.
But it's neat to see some different stuff, and it may take 2 hours to go find this tree looks pretty decent, or this is perfect. This is what we want. So you cut that one, throw it off, and then shop for some more.
Yep.
That's what you kind of do, and shop for some stuff that's maybe dead or it's thick or whatever. You want to take one or two of them out of there, and a little thinning.
Yep.
How big was the biggest tamarack wood that you found?
We cut some that we actually could cut boards out of this guy's place, and he let us take a few of them, and he actually run his own construction, so we used his equipment, once we got him to shore, and haul them up, because we have to pull everything with four-wheelers,
Yep.
or, by hand, because the ice was bad, or you don't want to go swimming. And, it's just, over time, it was just fun to look, to find, and that made, you can picture it in your head, oh boy, this would make a nice top for a bed.
Yeah, that's what you're kind of showing, the foo-foo stuff.
The foo-foo stuff.
Exactly, yep.
And that's what makes it fun, And I had a buddy that I did this for years with in his shop, and he passed away on me, so I just kind of got out of it for a while,
Nope.
It didn't feel the same, And, that makes it tough. We spent a lot of time together, and we just happened to do a project in the shop for the general.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted a conference table in the worst way for years.
This is what Army General, right? Mm-hmm. Army General. Just for viewers.
So this is their main conference table, 16 feet and 56, 58 inches wide.
Do you have a picture of that?
I probably got some pictures.
Okay, I'll try showing the guys, but I was just in the Nelson Hall, and I couldn't believe how big it is. Seeing it again after kind of messing with my table and going back to that, holy shit.
It is.
That's a table.
That is the first piece I've done. Since he passed away. And some of the boys from our shop, they worked on it with me and stuff. And it was great because to watch them people, the co-workers be excited. Finally, we are working on a project that really means a lot, And it's cool. It's all cedar inlaid, And they wanted us just to make the top. And I said, I wouldn't make the top if we ain't making the rest.
What did they want to do for the legs?
They wanted to use sawdust board, We were just going to
half-assing this thing.
We were going to half-ass it. I said, there ain't no fucking way we're doing that. I can't because, my name, my reputation. I mean, it's
your work.
It's on there,
Exactly.
Nope. We're going to do it. Let's do it right, you guys. It ain't. So it's 5-legged. So it's unique. I always like to try to throw some unique in, and especially in a bigger project, has to have unique. So it's got 5 legs instead of 4, but it's long. So you tie it's all made out of red cedar to bottom, big pillars, big logs. It's cool.
Yeah,
the thing will be around long
time.
after Jim's not around.
Yep. Yep.
So we put our names on it on the bottom. It's dated, and 50 years from now, they'll probably still can have conferences on that table, and they could crawl under there and see it's
Who
dated
made it?
and who made it.
How much does something like that weigh?
Oh, that table's a beast.
Everything said and done as it sits.
Oh, I'm sure that table's at least 1,000, at the top and the bottoms. But
That's
it's spread
insane.
out. I mean, it's huge.
Yeah, it is fucking huge. Yeah.
It is big, It took several of us, a lot of us in the departments. They all got together and we hauled it in. It can come apart, Where it matters, it can come apart, So the tops can be unmarried with the bottoms and shit,
Nope.
But that's, again, how you make antiques. You don't make antiques out of sawdust. It just don't happen. You know.
How long
very
did
true.
that take you guys?
It probably, we maybe had a couple, 2-3 weeks in it, a couple of weeks, off and on. It's just because we had other shit to do. If I had a couple hours here, an hour there or something, we worked on it, But she's a beauty. There's some projects that you work on that mean more than some other ones, And there's been a few that you bring them to the customer's house or the person's house, and we're starting to put this together, and they just sat there and they just jaws open, and
It is. It's something unique that even for myself, I didn't know what I was getting myself into.
right,
Jim said table. You see tables all over the place. You don't see that table though.
right.
You got a full-on log fucking hanging in front of you. I just find that super sweet. So that was that, and then so you said you had a partner you kind of did this with. You guys also did gardening too, was it not?
Yeah, we spent a lot of hours together. I mean, we gardened together, and we fished and stuff together too. I mean, we spent more time together than we spent with our wives, but it worked.
Yeah.
Every Saturday morning by 8 o'clock, he was at the house. We were gonna work in the gardens and do some weeding and stuff like that. At least twice a week.
Paint the picture for the listeners. How big is this fucking garden that you're talking about?
Well, there used to be 3, and I don't know, each one of them got to be, half acre to 3/4 an acre each, I suppose. Some of them, they're big, they're 300 feet long and 75 feet wide,
Yep.
And the main gardens are all electric, 8-foot high fence, keep the deer and the animals and shit out of it. Plant anywhere from 150 to 350 tomato plants, depending on the year that we were going to can, for that, and a couple hundred pepper plants. And I mean,
And these were your tools, your hands, right?
hands.
That's all you did.
Crawl on your hands and knees and weed and hose. I mean, we had tillers and shit too, but
No.
I mean, it's hours and hours. I finally, wonderful wife. I told her, I says, I can't keep doing it like I have. I'm getting old.
Nope.
Things are wore out. The knees are getting bad. The arms are getting bad. Everything's getting tired. I says, I could really, use a bobcat, to load everything, and
Especially with the projects you got going on. Absolutely.
to sit there and I unloaded all them oak slabs off that sawmill, slide them on a trailer, slide them off the trailer, and stack them by yourself.
Nope.
With no equipment. Well, it's getting to the part that was getting stupid, So we just before Christmas picked me, a brand new bobcat up. It's going to make my life lots easier,
Yeah.
And the wood splitters on there and forks, and now I can move this shit.
So you got the whole works. You got attachments. Yeah.
It's loaded up. I mean, the grapples, the whole works.
That's super sweet. Yeah. That was something that you almost needed. Gosh, how long ago?
Years and years ago. I could have used that. But yeah, that's going to make life
a lot easier.
A lot easier.
A lot easier for you as well.
So,
yeah.
Definitely hats off to the wife. That's
sweet. Because once you got something like that, I mean, hell, that should last you a lifetime.
The rest of my
you
days. Yeah, when the delivery guy was backing in the driveway, there was fucking tears coming down the cheeks.
Yeah.
Fine.
You work your whole fucking life for that. Not just a skid steer, but it's like, oh my, you could have used that how many times?
Oh, sure.
And it's like, okay, now it's time you actually get to treat yourself and do something. You can do more than just what you wanted to do with it.
And we both, spent our life working, busting our ass,
Yep.
I'm one of them kind of 7-a-day guys, or 7 days in a week we're going to work them, know. And that's where my hat's off to you guys for sure. The younger generation, I'm going to call you younger, I'm quite a bit older. When I met you two guys, very respectable guys. I'm telling you guys right now, these two guys rock. And I know your father for years. I think he did an outstanding job to me, showing you guys the ropes of being very respectful, hard-working young guys.
I appreciate that, Jim.
And unfortunately, this country's not full of them people like that. It's people that expect everything for nothing. There's nothing in this world for nothing. Mm-hmm. Somebody's paying the bill some way, somehow. So you get out, you earn the shit, you got to work. You got to get dirty. It's busting your ass, getting dirty in the gardens, or flipping logs or something. That shit I enjoy doing,
Yep.
you know. But to watch and see, like you guys coming up, cool deal.
Yeah.
To me,
That's cool. That's cool. Thank you.
you know.
That's like after graduating a few years now, seeing the new people, and I know they're still young yet, but like say like the freshmen, whatever, you could tell the discipline wasn't there.
No.
You know, I do understand that they are young and they're still trying to figure out who they are. But man, like I felt like when I was a freshman, like we didn't act like that, or maybe we did and I just didn't know it. But it's like where's like the parents and some of this shit? You know, like why is your kid smashing in windows
Right.
on a car? You know,
Or stealing shit.
anything.
You
It's
know.
like what the fuck? Like I don't see this when I was that age.
I think a lot of that has to do with the discipline as the parents. You know, just like
Right.
how, you know, like, yeah, like you said, like with dad too, like, you know, it's like, yeah, he would help you out, but at the same time, he would never just, he would let you try to figure it out on your own first before he would just jump in and do it. You know what I mean? Which is good. I mean, look at, you know, I mean, that's, and I could even see, like, even me as a dad, you know, it's just kind of like, you want to help him out, but I try to do the same thing that dad did for some of the stuff that way, where it's like, struggle a little bit, or, you know, just figure it out.
Right.
Work your noggin a little bit. Like, don't just jump in and help right away. And that's one thing that I think that, you know, thank you, Dad. You know,
Yeah,
that
it
helped
did
us
help
out a
them.
lot.
What I liked, and this is Dad. This is always it's been him. He'll tell you you kind of give him an
Oh, I
idea,
know exactly where it's going.
and this is just Dad. This is how it's always been. And Dad, this is what I want to do. I want to try this one thing. He's like, all right, you know, he won't tell you yes or no. So you kind of talk to him a little bit, and he's like, you just kind of start asking questions about this, and then he'll give you the pros, he'll give you the cons, and then he'll leave it to you to figure
Yeah.
it out. You know, he'll tell you the best of
Yeah.
you know what you want to hear, what you don't want to hear, and then okay. So sometimes you leave there, you know, with a good understanding, like okay, do I proceed this? Do I not? And then sometimes you leave more fucking confused than anything.
He does too, because he gets you hyped up. He'll pull the you know, the pros out of the whole thing. Be like, yep, you know, I mean, it's good. You good money on there. I mean,
Yep.
this, that, whatever.
Yep.
But then he'll just lay a list of fucking cons, and then it's like, yeah, you leave and you're like,
Oh no.
I don't know what the fuck we did. I don't know what I don't know what the hell. It's like, it's good, it's bad, you know, he laid it all out for you. It's there you go, figure it out.
Yep.
You know, whatever you want.
That's something I just told him the other week that I respect that because like I said, you kind of leave like you're your own person, you know, you're gonna figure out this is just life. What I liked about it is he kind of warns you of the cautions or what may happen,
Right.
and it's sweet because sometimes I like to daydream, and it sounds super good in my head where it's like okay, kind of snap back in reality. Just get in touch with reality here, and that's super good, you know. But hearing kind of Dad explain it, you kind of have to take it with a grain of salt. You know, it all depends how bad you really want to do it and if you can make it work, you know. But it's good because it kind of pulls me back down to, okay, say if that did happen, what's a way around it? Makes you think more, at least for me, you know.
And that's a good part.
It
you
is
know?
very, yep.
Because if you just handed everything, well, it's, you know, or if you'd have did everything for you,
No
you
good.
you ain't gonna learn shit. You know, you got to learn shit. The more you learn in this life, the better off you're gonna be. That's something that can never ever take away from you, that you learned it. That's gonna be in there forever. You know, there's a lot of shit they can take away. You know, your rights, different things, but your knowledge is power. If your knowledge and you're thinking about it or you're learning every day, you're going to learn something. I still learn shit
Absolutely.
all the time.
Yep.
And I've been around the block several times, you know. That's why working on our project, spending the extra time to show you and teach you on different woods and the strengths and, you know, the different looks it's going to look like. I never would ever regret doing that. And I'll do that for anybody. You know, somebody wants to come up, hey, I want to show this or I want to learn how to do this, you know.
And it's something I'm gonna learn or take with me for
Forever.
life. I was telling Trav about all this shit too. And you know, like she kind of tell me a little bit about the table. I go and I relate to Trav. I'm like, did you know that this can do this? Or you know, just different with anything.
The one thing that really would make this full circle was when your father was younger, I took him deer hunting.
Yep.
You know, he was never showed. I mean, Dad was never into that and the projects. So over the years, I take them hunting a few times and show them, and your uncles, of course. What is cool and rewarding for me is he takes you guys deer hunting.
Yep.
And now you guys will take your kids deer hunting.
Yep.
But if your dad was never be brought up with that, or you didn't have that background, well, that would have took that whole
Generations.
out.
Gone. Yep.
Yeah.
Gone.
Yep.
So if you take them hunting and fishing and stuff, show these younger kids or how to do it, the proper and safe ways to do it, gun safety, and take them fishing and stuff, I taught fly class, tying classes, another little thing I did, over the years. And a school teacher learned that I did it, and she was wondering if I would teach electives for the kids.
Oh.
It was going to be a 2-day deal. Okay, fine. All right, yep, throw my shit together and bring the fly rods, and these kids were going home. Can I take some of this stuff home and do it at night, and I'll show you in the morning? Absolutely. Here's some stuff, and here's some hooks and stuff. And how many of them kids maybe fly fish now?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And I'll never know.
That's got to be such a good feeling.
It does. It makes you feel good, that to show people, or take a little of your time and spend it with somebody else and teach them,
That's what I liked. Going back to this table, you took just something that I said, just an idea, and you made it into reality. Like it's something that you really don't see now.
No.
And like you probably are the first person that ever showed me that. And that's like what I'm trying to say is taking the time out of your day, your life, your material, and making it possible.
Going back to like you back with the gardening and even just like helping and giving back to people and stuff. I mean, the food that this guy makes
It is unbelievable.
Absolutely some shit that I've never experienced before.
Well, they always said never trust a skinny cook.
Your setup for that is even amazing because that's on a trailer, and you go ahead. You explain it.
Well, that's another thing I used to do with my buddy Steve. We used to cook for weddings, on the side, of course. Mm-hmm. So we always stayed really busy. There's no idle time. But so after he passed away, I quit doing that. The trailer sat there, and it's bothered me for letting it just sit there. And so I fixed it back up, stained it up, new tires, new everything on it, new gas lines and the whole works, and asked the wife, I says, do you mind if I do a barbecue, a big cookout for all the people I work for out in camp? She says, go ahead. Yeah, I'm cool, So I went and talked to the right people, and I asked them, I says, hey, I want to come out and camp on my dime. I'm paying for it. It's not costing you guys nothing. And I'll take a day off, and I'll cook everybody lunch out here. Yeah, and he says, hell yeah, go for it, I says, you just put it out there that we're doing it this day and when, and we'll get her done. And, I hooked her up and threw a bunch of pork butts on there and homemade potato salad, everything done by scratch, The shit that I've got out of the gardens, it's all fresh. The fresh vegetables, the whole works out there, and I think production might have went down the rest of the day.
Oh, it definitely did.
Guaranteed.
I think it might have crash landed a little, but
It was funny. Driving by, you can just see this mansion going on with the trailer, and everyone in camp just kind of driving by, checking it. You can smell that,
Well, smell-o-vision. I mean, you can smell that thing cooking for a quarter mile.
Yeah.
That is sweet, though.
Remember the first time I seen that thing set up in the back, where we had it out in the or in the grass pad there? Remember I drove by and right in between the two buildings, there's a little opening. And I happened to look over there like, yep, that's where it's going to be. And I see this fucking whole deck set up out there.
Yeah.
I just could not believe how big that. I didn't think that it was something like that, but holy shit.
I was
They
expecting a
weren't
grill.
kidding.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know a fucking whole patio set was going to be put up out there.
Yeah, it's 38 feet long, and it folds down. Both sides fold down. It's 22 feet wide. And it can take tables, chairs, tents, everything right on there. You can sit on the outside. And that was a pile of steel and wood sitting in a corner. And, me and a buddy, we slapped her together. I said, this is what I want to build. And they just kind of rolled their eyes and, okay, I mean, let's try it. You just kind of tell me what you want. And he ordered some more iron and we folded it up. And then go try to get that license in DMV.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was
just confused. Paperwork on paperwork.
It was terrible because, I mean, is it for livestock? And I looked at the lady. I said, yeah, ma'am. I said, it's going to be for livestock.
Yep.
They're going to sit on the grill and they're going to cook in the front. Oh, you know, and then she shuts the whole place down and they're all coming up. Look at these pictures because you got to bring pictures in and they might, you know, you didn't steal the, you know.
Yep.
And you got to prove that you paid tax on it and the whole works. And I could, you know. Okay, so you got to get this sticker on it and, you know.
Yep.
And, of course, the wife looks at me like I was nuts in the head. I mean, what are you doing, you know? And over time, she thought, well, this is pretty cool, you know? I mean, and whatever.
I felt like after a while, she just kind of got used to, you're doing what?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Whatever. I'll just wait till it's done. I'll see it.
That's kind of how that rolls. But, you know, she, after this many years, she's got me figured out, I guess. You know, it's jump in with both feet no matter what, you know.
Yep. Sounds familiar.
Go
Yeah. Do a lot of that stuff.
wide open till you see God, then hit the
Yeah.
brakes. You know.
That's what I found super sweet. Is just so. Is that something you can just kind of like, not just the trailer, but like with all your projects? Like, do you Pinterest this shit, or does it just literally come to mind? Like, this will help me.
That's just
Jim
rolls.
is Pinterest.
Right. I'm Pinterest. I've
He is
never
the
been on a
CEO of
Pinterest.
that unit.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's a BB in a boxcar and it just rattles in there.
Yeah.
But then it goes 24/7 and then all of a sudden in one morning you jump out of bed, this is what I'm going to do because it's been thought through so much, processed so many times. You can tell measurements and everything. It's just overthought like crazy.
Yep. I mean, yeah, just walking around your property there, you see little contraptions here and there. It's like, this dude, he's onto something.
Oh, yeah.
I like what you do there. That is sweet. And that's like with kind of being like your background of like the carpentry and whatnot. Was that something that just kind of literally just little tinkering around just to improve your life? Is that kind of how you started with all this?
Right.
Like, is that why the brand's constantly rolling?
And then want to pay somebody to come and do it.
Okay.
Or wait for somebody to come and do it. I hate waiting. Waiting sucks.
Want it now.
Now, let's figure it out.
Yep.
Speaking of waiting, Christmas Eve, I usually go out. We go to the bar. We got no kids. We just go wide open. We have fun and this bah humbug. Let's get this son of a bitch over with.
Yep.
One of the first years, I didn't go out because I'm going to have a New Year's little get together and stuff. And screw it, we're just staying home. We lose half our power. Christmas Eve night. I'm thinking, oh, fuck, now what? So I don't know if it's Minnesota Power's problem, if it's my problem, but whatever. I waited. It's 11 o'clock at night. They finally show up. Yep, it's not our problem. It's your problem. By that time, I had a good buddy. He showed up. He brought generators and shit.
Nice.
And his son, so he could get into the garage because half the power was out. So half of the shit runs, half of the shit don't run. And thank God I had stuff to fix it. But what do? If you sit there and you can't got the knowledge that know how to fix it, you're going to be there Christmas Eve night, Christmas Day. You ain't getting no parts. You better be a pack rat, and you better know where this shit is. Mm-hmm. So out to the box you go. And I fixed the damn thing. Here we go. We got powers on by midnight again, you know. Well, yeah, just the wife just shakes her head. Whatever, you know. I don't know how you do this shit sometimes. Well, I got nobody coming to do it, you know.
I don't either.
Especially on a holiday.
Yep.
They're going to be screwed, you know. Well, off we go, you know.
Just a man of all trades.
Well, you dabble in a little master of none, you know. But
yeah. That's where I feel like we kind of sit. But, like, we're not up to that skill level.
But were you out there like, what is that guy, Clark off Christmas Vacation or whatever?
Yeah.
An extension cord trying to...
It was, the other buddy was sitting there, and I'm pulling out these huge fuses with a pair of, I mean, they were insulated, channel locks. So what do? You just reach in that box. I mean, these fuses are that big, you know, huge. You just reach in there, you start ripping them out, and we'll start putting new ones until freaking lights come back
Yeah,
on, you know?
yeah.
I mean, and the wife is freaking out. She says, why would you do that? I said, well, we can't be here with no power, you know?
Yeah.
You know?
So did Minnesota Power ever? They did come
Oh,
out.
yeah,
Then
they
eventually
finally
did
come out,
and
you know, on Christmas Eve. But, of course, I'm sure they come out and but, you know, sucks to be you. He said, it ain't our problem, it's yours.
Exactly.
And that's what he said. Well, I said, okay, well, I know what's wrong then.
Yeah.
You know, but I wanted to do the right thing, make sure they get out first and
Yep.
stuff. And they checked their shit out and says, no, you're screwed. So, well, thank God I didn't go to the bar because that would have made it a lot more interesting sticking your fingers into the high voltage boxes, you know, when you're half lit up,
Yeah.
you know. And
A lot more confident going in there.
well,
You know?
yeah, you know.
Yeah, I've done this before.
Oh, it was sketchy. But, no, even like plumbing and stuff. I mean, there's a lot of water. I mean, there's a lot of hydrants. There's 700 feet of underground water lines and shit. I run 3 pumps, 3 wells. I mean, I'm watering all this shit.
Yeah.
You better be handy at some things, you know. Plumbing might be one of them, you
Yeah.
know. But, you know.
Especially when you're dealing with that. That's a lot of fucking.
Oh,
That's
hell.
all. That's a lot. That's a lot of running up. So how far down do you go with them lines? Did you trench them in far, or what did you
Yep.
do?
I had a hole come in, a buddy that I knew, and I ran the hole, and he ran the hole, and we dug them 12 feet deep.
Oh shit.
Then I ran electric in all of them because I got RV campsites. You know, we like to have fun, you know, so you pull your camper in. I put in, I think, 4 or 5 RV sites. They're all 30 amp sites and breakers and everything in all them boxes. And I ran the 100 amp service right back to the garden and stuff back there to run the greenhouse, you know, and so I put them in too, you know. At the same time we're trenching. We dug 3 days with the hoe because they're going that deep. I got to dig an awful big hole.
Nope.
Why so deep?
I never have to worry about them freezing.
Sure.
That's just one extra problem
yep.
because I drive over it all the time. Log trucks are coming in and stuff. So when you drive on that frost, we pound that down, and there's just another headache coming if you don't.
No,
you know?
True.
So then when we were doing it, we filled her in part way, and I ran electric lines, same trench. You know,
It's the way to go, especially when you're doing it. To do it.
all in, just be done.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'll have that forever. You know, it works out great. You know, people come over and they want to spend the night or the weekend or whatever.
Yeah. So shit. It wasn't even that long ago. We were talking about well, it was deer season. You know, a couple months ago, and happened to see you at work, whatever. And we got talking about some of your old deer hunting stories a little bit, and let's hear some of them.
Well, I don't know. I've been a young kid. I started real young. I was, I think 12, 13, 14 years old, riding a bicycle. I mean, back then days, no driver's license. I literally rode the bicycle to the deer stand, you know, in the dark, you know. I mean, just gun on the handlebars, an old 30-30 Winchester, you know. And crawl up there, you know, scared. I mean, nervous. I mean, you're out there by yourself. And, there was no fancy equipment back in. The boots were bad. The gloves are bad. You could wear red clothes. There was no fluorescent orange even. I mean, let's go back a long ways, you know. And shot one of the first deer I ever shot. Great big 10-point buck. I mean,
That was your first deer?
yeah,
Oh,
first
wow.
deer, 250 pounds, you know. And this
Jeez.
deer was psycho, you know. I mean,
Set the standards pretty high.
oh yeah, he set the standards really high. I mean, after I shot a few times and he run up and I just disappeared. I wasn't going to get out of that tree. This thing is psycho, you know. I mean, I shot this thing a couple, 2, 3, 4 times already, and he just fucking nuts, you know.
Oh.
And the first deer I ever shot with a bow and arrow was in Wisconsin. That was a 8-pointer. So I was pretty charmed, you know.
Nope.
So the standards were pretty high back then, you know. But it was a very enjoyable, you know. And then over the years, you get to travel a little bit and do some different hunting trips out west and elk hunting and you know, camping out, you know, out in the middle of nowhere with a stream, and the closest tar road was over an hour off, you know, and snow up in the mountains yet, you know, but there's memories you'll never forget, you know,
Nope.
you know, the first ones and stuff, and hell, I still got great for me, another deer yet in the taxidermist. He's been over 2 years. Ain't got him back yet, but
Them guys are taking forever.
I'm gonna have to put a little fire under one of them asses because that's bullshit.
How long has it been?
It was over 2 years.
Holy shit.
That's like my buddy with this coyote. He killed it probably a year and a half ago. They said they called him about a half a year ago, saying, yeah, okay, it'd be done around this time. I think this was October, like this last October. Saying it was going to be done. Nothing yet.
I think he must be using the same taxidermist because it's the same shit.
Yeah.
He called me 8 months ago, probably. Oh, we're working on your stuff now, and yeah, it should be. I said, well, how long? Well, a couple months. You should be done. Well, that's been 8 months ago.
Yeah. Wow. What the fuck's the holdup?
Yeah.
You know?
If you're that far back, quit taking them.
Yeah.
I understand you're trying to make money doing this shit, but what you're going to do is piss the people off. You tell
It's a long
somebody a
time.
year and a half. That's what he told me. Now we're into well over 2 years. Yeah, it probably ain't coming back to you. You know.
Yeah.
It's just that's a bad way to do business. You know.
That is.
You know that's.
So what, you have a deer getting done?
I got 12-pointer coming back, and I was mad. I shot the damn thing opening morning, 8:30 in the morning. I was done. I almost let the damn thing walk. I didn't want to shoot the damn thing because now I got to go back to the house,
Yeah.
back to work. You know.
The hype's done for the year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean it was literally a couple hours. Oh boy, this is gonna suck. You know, but I took my little nephew. Of course, I taught him since he's been. I should have invested in Federal and Remington ammunition, as much ammunition as kid shot. I mean, you take him out, and he'd sit in the stand with me, and he'd shoot, and he'd miss, and shoot some more. Here comes another one, and I'm looking, and he got scope-eyed, and oh my God, I mean, what are we doing, you know? And we're sitting in the same box stand, you know, and it's dark getting up there in the morning, and I handed up the guns, you know, and he's banging them against the heater in there, and it's pitch black. I mean, it's dark, you know. I'm thinking, well, thank God that ain't my gun he's doing it to. And it was.
Oh.
You know.
Did you know this?
Well, no, not at the time.
Just grabbed a gun and went?
Yeah, I mean, it's pitch black in that stand when we got in there in the morning, you know. And it's I got a 300 Weatherby all laser engraved. I mean, I take the gun out. It takes us one shot, and the gun goes back in the case, you know.
Yeah.
And he's gonna shoot at a deer with my gun. I told him, no. You know, I didn't realize he had my weapon. You know, and I'm saying, you shoot, you pull that. I mean, he didn't weigh 75 pounds. I mean, it'll blew him right out the back of the deer stand, you know.
Dude's going for a ride.
Right,
man.
don't shoot that thing. Don't, no. And finally, I realized he was beating the hell out of my gun, and he had my gun and not his, you know. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's life and times. That's the things you'll never forget, you know. But
Yeah.
that little scrawny kid would have shot that 300 Weatherby mag. Yeah,
Jesus.
I mean, that's quite a bit of 70 pounds of recoil, you know. That
Dislocated his fucking arm.
it launched him right out of the stand, you know.
Oh man.
Did you go out like west or anything and hunt?
Out to Colorado. I've been to Oregon and stuff, elk hunting.
Okay.
You
Oh,
know,
really?
Yeah, elk hunting out there. Beautiful.
Yeah.
It's the hardest, most fun work you'll ever do. I mean, it's a lot of work. The mountains kick your guy's ass, you know.
Yep.
You know, being smaller like you fellers, you probably run up and down the mountains, but we would 5 miles in, you know, walking, backpack in. And I would try to tell the guys, we don't go any farther than that. Well, we can walk farther. Well, yeah, but we got to carry that shit out, you know.
Yeah.
You know, you start shooting a big elk 5 miles back, you're going to earn your breakfast. I mean, that's going to be...
That's a lot of weight you're hiking through.
Oh, and the locals out there think we're nuts anyway. I mean...
Why is that?
Well, they want to be back to the truck. You know, they're scared of the dark or something. I don't know, you know. But it's the same rules out there as here. You can hunt till a half hour after sunrise. Well, you're 5 miles back. That's going to take 2-3 hours to walk back out of the mountains in the dark, you know, with our mini mag flashlight, you know, and they run right up to you like, what the hell, you guys get hurt? Do you guys get lost? And I said, no. And you have this 2-minute conversation with, well, let me guess. You son of a bitches are from Minnesota. So, yeah, you fuckers are all crazy. We live in this state. There ain't no way we stay in the mountains till after dark. I mean, that's crazy shit. You know, there's lions and I don't care. I mean, you got to take a chance. I mean, all I got to do is outrun one of the guys that I'm with. I don't care. I mean,
Take him.
that's it. Or I kick him on the ankles on the way by, you know. I mean, Dude, I mean, there's going to be sacrifices made, and it's not going to be me, Well, it was funny out there because we had a guy who's pretty fit, and he worked out and everything else. And here's this fat guy, and he's behind me, It's dark. We're going up with headlamps, and you can see the eyes and shit in the dark,
Yeah, yep.
And I said, we can't keep taking breaks. We got to get to the top of this mountain before daylight, and we're leaving at, 2 o'clock in the morning, to try to get to the top. And I says, you just stop here. You take a break. That's fine. I says, we'll be on the top when you get there. And nope, after he sees the first mountain lion eye sitting there, and then when you scan it, nope, he was right on my heels. There's no more breaks. He was not going to be left in the mountains by himself.
Dude, that's got to be so eerie walking through there.
Yeah, it does, It was, you could hear him, There was a local. He had his gun leaned against a tree, and we're going to go around him, at a different time. And you could hear the mountain lion up, and he was pissed. You could hear him snarling up there. And we were pretty quiet walking. We're bow hunters and shit for years, so we walk really quiet. And I'd have never walked up on this guy this quiet if he had his gun in his hand. Because I didn't purposely scare the piss out of him, but I know he shit himself. Because he reached, when he heard us and seen us coming, he was reaching for his gun and everything. I said, no, dude, it's okay.
Yeah.
And can you hear him up there? I said, yeah, we can hear him. You can hear the damn thing for a half mile away. He's pissed.
Them are very intimidating calls, too.
Yeah.
Very intimidating. I can imagine being dark, too, walking out there.
And we just walked around the guy. And you guys are still going up there? He said, I said, hell yeah, we're still going up there. There's one of him, there's two of us, and we both have guns. If he's going to come after us.
You might get one. But
Yeah, you ain't getting both.
Ain't going to be me, though. So where is it that you're walking to? Like, are you following the elk, or what is it?
Well,
like camp resorts or something?
There's old buffalo paths, horse paths.
Okay.
And you kind of get there and you kind of topo maps. We're doing old school shit. We didn't have all these fancy electronic shit and stuff. And you just hope that you're on the right borders and the right sections. And you just start hoofing her with a compass and, you watch your map and, yep, we should be right, and you try to get off the beaten path where most people wouldn't go that far in. The horses and stuff, them guys will just keep going. They'll go for miles, But, you got to backpack all that shit in, and you're backpacking that shit all out.
Yep.
You're pretty happy some days to see the truck. You almost
I believe it.
give your truck a kiss when you get back,
especially doing something like that, I couldn't imagine. Morel Falls in Montana. Remember when we went on that hike?
Yeah. They get to be long, and it's a workout, especially if you're carrying all your hiking gear and whatever.
And it's nothing quite like that strenuous, The thing of it is I think it's kind of a boring walk for 3/4 of it until you get closer to the waterfall. But man, when you get, it's such like a long fucking boring hike for most of that when you're walking back and you take like the corners around on these trails, it's like, this is the corner, then we're almost to the car. No. This is the corner. Now we're almost there. And then you get going and you fucking look at your GPS, that fancy shit we got now.
Yeah.
And it says you're still fucking 2.5 miles away from the fucking van yet or the car. So, there you go with that. And it's just it's like, fuck, It's like, are we there?
Yeah. Are we there yet, Mom? No.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember doing that a few times. Not sure what hike we were on, but thinking you're closer than you are. Every turn you take, fuck. Tree looks familiar. Whatever it is, you try to pick a land site kind of close to your vehicle. Yeah, fuck no, son. You keep hiking. There's a ways. Especially, like, I give you a lot of credit for the elk hunting. I do want to try it. I think it's very beautiful, and just trying to hunt an animal, like, true.
If a guy ever wants to try it, you ever want to try to do it, and serious about trying it, because we'd have to try to get licensed and stuff. I have all the equipment. If you want to go old school, I got all the old outfitters tents, the white wall tents you see on TV.
You guys stay out there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we stayed right in the mountains for 10 days.
So is it, when you go in the mountains, like, do you find kind of like a flat spot in camp, or do you back?
By the water, by the river, or a creek or something. Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then we camp out there for 10 days. That one tent is 16 by 20, and then there's a cook shack tent that attaches to it.
Oh, fuck.
So we run 2 wood stoves. I mean, that's your only source of heat, is them wood stoves, and a damn good sleeping bag. I'd recommend one.
Yep.
And then cots. But it's set up, you know, when the old guys like us, you know, we're old. You got to get up in the middle of the night to go take a leak. You come in, make one handful of wood, throw her back in the stoves. And we actually had a game warden come up to us, and he wanted to see my outfitter's license. I said, I ain't no goddamn outfitter. Oh, yeah. No, I don't, you know. He was running me through the ringer. And I said, dude, we're just guys from Minnesota, and showed him our license. Boy, you guys got some nice equipment. We don't see that shit out here. And I said, well, yeah, I suppose, you know, but we're going to camp out here, and I'll have that shit forever. And we went out there a couple different times.
What is an outfitter?
Well, they're hiring. They're hired out
Okay.
to be guides and
Sure.
stuff for other people, you know. So I imagine they're getting fees for license, their extras, and, you know, the perks or whatever. But that wasn't us, you know. We just bring in the big enclosed car trailers and keep all the food and the garbage and shit in there, keep the bears out because they got grizzlies and everything, you know.
Yeah.
And I told all the guys, I said, don't screw around. You might think it's funny to rattle my tent in the middle of the night, but I don't mind poking one hole through my own tent. And I said, so don't screw around, not out here. I mean, you might think it's funny, but it won't be funny in the middle of the night. You wake me up, you know, and you're scratching at the side of the tent trying to get in.
Yeah.
You know,
Have you guys ever encountered any grizzly?
we'd never seen them. You know, plenty of bear tracks, and I had paw prints on the side of my trailer.
Oh, really?
It was a black trailer, so it's dusty and stuff, and you could see the scratches in the paw prints that he wanted to get in the trailer because that's where the garbage was. That's where all the coolers were. He wanted in there.
Oh, man.
But I don't know if we spooked him off. It was in the dark or what, but you could tell that's the paw prints are on that black trailer. I mean, it's dead giveaway, you know. But
That's like the wolves. I feel like that'd be super scary to encounter. We actually seen one yesterday. Yesterday we seen a wolf. Yep. I just kind of seen the ass end of it, but Trev kind of spotted it out. It was in the middle of the road.
Yeah. Come flying out of the woods, and then it was kind of on a corner on a gravel road. He come flying out, and then he seen that we were coming right down there. I mean, he had to have heard us. We were in a fucking log truck.
Yeah. Echoing through the woods. Can't miss it.
And yeah, he come flying through, and I don't know if he got spooked. He was running across, but then he like went jagged and then shot into the woods. I don't know why he didn't keep going straight. If he was chasing something or what, I don't know.
well, couldn't that log truck drive any faster?
We're doing all right.
All right. Well, you know where we're going with that, but we don't want to piss people off, I guess, you know.
Yeah.
You know, that's another thing. Speaking of being out in the mountains, have you ever gotten lost or have gotten close to being lost?
One of the first days we were there.
Sounds familiar.
Yep.
No license. We had license. We couldn't carry our guns. We're just going on a nature hike. This is where you learn to trust your buddy. So we were together. We're walking together. We're just scouting. We're just going an afternoon little walk. So no gun, no nothing. And it was warm. During the day, t-shirt, you know, minimal shit. We're just checking shit out. He went up one side of the draw. I'll go up the other. We'll meet on the top. He never met to the top. So now I'm looking for him and whistling for him. He turned around and went back to the truck. So he left me. I was so fucking mad I could have choked him. But out in the mountains, once you go up and over the mountain, you're screwed because then you don't know, it's that mountaintop we got to cross or is it that one? So once you crest it, you're fine as long as you never go up and over. Once you go up and over, it could be that one, it could be that one, it could be this one. So I looked for him for hours. And there was a sagebrush flat up there. And I know it's getting cold. It'll freeze a 5-gallon bucket of water at night. I got nothing with me besides my knife and shit, you know, bare minimum.
And getting dark, did you say?
It was getting dark.
Okay.
No water. Lips are cracked from dehydration already. And I know this is it. I'm fucked, you know. Boy, I was a dumbass. So I learned back then. He finally was coming back up. I had my bearings. I said, screw it. He's not coming. I can't find him. I'm going back to the truck. I got the keys for the truck. It's my truck.
Oh.
You know, he's screwed. I don't know why he went there, but he was coming back up when I was going down. He was running down the mountain because I was behind him. He knew I was going to kick his ass.
Oh, really?
I said, you never fucking do that to somebody. You tell him you're going to the top. I don't care if you got to crawl to the top.
Right.
You better get to the top of that mountain because he's got to know the next guy's going to look for you.
Yep.
Well, by me looking for him, could have cost me big.
100%.
Especially something like that.
If you didn't have your shit together.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
But I learned then you don't leave. If you leave, you can't see the truck, you can't see the tent. You bring your backpack with you. It's automatic. You're going to go take a dump, you bring your goddamn shit with you. Your matches, your compass, your extra clothes, you bring it with. That's just how it works out there. Because that country's not forgiving.
No.
That ain't Minnesota. You know, it could be 70 during the day. It'll be 20 at night or colder. And it could be 10 inches of snow in a matter of hours.
Ain't that crazy?
It's crazy up there. You know, we were camping at 10,000. We'd go all the way as high as 14,000 to hunt, losing trees. You know?
And not to mention when it does snow, on how much different your visibility is down and how much it fucks with your surroundings too.
It's
because
rough.
it changes everything.
What do you mean?
As in, like, you could be out there, like when we went snowmobiling out there. You know, at Montana, we went snowmobiling out there, and we hit a storm coming through. All of a sudden, it's like, you're looking around, it's like just cloudy, and it's like you can see shit, and you're like, okay, we come from that way. You know we come from that way. It starts fucking snowing out there. It's like the clouds and everything, like, lowers with it. And, like, your fucking visibility is, like, you don't know whether you just turned around and you're going back, or if you're catching someone else. Just, like, you have no clue.
And you're on
You
the
have-
bottom. Like, you're not on a mountain, you're on the just
No,
normal
yeah,
ground.
you're in the mountain.
Yeah.
Oh,
the
you are?
mountains. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, no, and,
That's sketchy.
yeah, and it's not fun. That's
Oh.
not, I didn't like that, you know?
In Portland, Oregon, we hunted in Portland. You're 12 miles from the ocean. So when that moist air comes off the ocean, I mean, you could see for a half mile. Them clouds come in on top of that, you cannot see 20 feet in front of your hand, in front of your face. I mean, it's that a
Fucking
wall.
dense. It's
And
crazy.
you aren't going nowhere. You just grab yourself a stump and sit down until that shit can blow out because you are walking blind. I mean, it's
Fuck that. I hate even driving in fog, let alone finding my way up a mountain.
Yeah.
and then of course they got the snakes, you know, the coral snake or the fucking. I'm not into that snake shit. You know, I'd take on a grizzly bear with a pocket knife. You know, I'm cool. Just don't put me in a room with them fucking snakes. You know, I'm out. So, I mean, to this day, you ever see me walk, I never look ahead. I always look down. But if you spend any time in the mountains, you will learn real fast to look down because it's what you step on or step over or down could be your last step. So you always pay attention what the hell you're stepping, you know. To this day, I still do it no matter what.
We were on a hike, and I think it was in South Dakota. We were kind of making our way to Montana, and I think this was
North
on
Dakota.
North Dakota. Yep. We were on our way out to Montana. We stopped. I don't know if it's like the Badlands. If
Yeah,
that's
it's
kind of
some
where we
hike up
stopped.
there, right?
Whatever, just kind of off the road, little hiking trail, get some views. And Trav's wife was in front of him, kind of guiding the way up there, just whatever. And I don't know if she stepped on or just walked right past little snake. Or I'm not little, but enough to catch your attention of like, what the fuck is going on? And
See, out there they had the yellow, the black, and the striped ones, you know.
Scary.
The ones you don't want to step on,
No.
you know. You know, and then out west, you got the rattlesnakes and shit, you know. And just depends on where you're at, the weather for the day. You know,
They're mean, man. They sound mean. They look mean. Fucking just look pissed off all the time.
yeah.
Like, you stay away from me.
Right, stay the hell away from me too. I don't like gardener snakes for shit's sakes.
No.
You know, no.
What I find super sweet. Sometimes I go on like MLS and just kind of look at properties for sale, like out west, like shit, like river. It's super hard to get to, and these people, Montana, Colorado, where the mountains are, they are literally living on the side of a mountain, fucking trenching through bushes, whatever it is, just to live, completely off the grid. Literally, I seen one, kind of like a tent form. You know, there's a little more structure to it, but it was almost like a big tent. You know, they got their pots and pans hanging from the ceiling, just literally like rough country. Like, holy fuck! Like I find it super sweet that people still live like that. But man, would that be a change from living like that to here? You know, just electricity, Wi-Fi, all that.
Well, one accident, one broken leg, whatever.
Yeah. What do you do?
Or, you know, you're
Yeah.
screwed.
Yep.
Your lifespan, them true people that are doing that, the middle of nowhere. You don't got firewood, you ain't got heat. You're not going to make it. You know, you can't go hunting. You can't, you know, it's going to be tough. You know, you're not going to be a 70, 80-year-old man more than likely 100% off grid and still making it. You won't do it. It's when your legs give up. You can't get through the 4 foot of snow.
Yeah.
You know, you can't go cut the firewood. You can't go, get yourself a caribou or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're going to starve. If you're not 100% prepared. I do a lot of canning, and shit. I'm prepared for even here,
Mm-hmm.
In case doomsday ever does come around this country, I mean, things ain't the prettiest, but I think prepared don't cost you extra to be prepared.
No, it don't. Especially kind of like how you said with now, I don't know, it seems like a little eerie,
It's
especially around like election, just a lot of weird shit going on. And like you said, you can never be really too prepared.
Absolutely. I believe 100% everybody should be smart, wise, and do some research, do some checking, And it don't hurt nothing,
Mm-mm.
Look with that little speed bumps, a few here and there, and look at our grocery stores.
White.
I mean, if something ever bad happened, our stores would be cleaned in minutes, and people would be hurting each other, trampling women and kids going in and out of the store so they could get their case of goddamn bottled water.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what would happen. And I guarantee that's what would happen.
Think of even like COVID. Remember when COVID first came around and it's like you're walking in the grocery store and it was like everyone was like that. God, he just felt like everyone was just judging the shit out of you for everything you had in your cart. Like, oh, this motherfucker's got 2 milks?
Yeah.
What do you got 2 milks for, you fat fuck? Like, what do you got that for? It's like, why? And it's like...
There's a sense of
you
that in there.
You did. Every time you walked around, it's like you felt someone was judging what you had in your cart all the time.
Or the shit paper,
Yeah.
God forbid if you had an 8-pack of shit paper, they're going to wonder how long that's supposed to last you, but...
Yeah. But the thing with that, though, I feel is that people didn't know, because even when it first did come out, it's like, is this fucking like Ebola or something? Like, I don't know.
Is it
like
actually
when it
kill
first,
you?
when it first came out, it's like, I get it. It's like, well, if we can, I understand. It really showed how greedy people are.
Greedy.
It really does show that, and it's just. But I completely get why people do it, and I'm guilty of it. For some of the things, I was guilty of some of the shit. I'm not gonna say I wasn't. Because it's like you got your family, and it's like, oh yeah, it's like
you're gonna take
there's
care
2
of them,
there, it's like that's the way it is,
Yeah.
So it's like I completely get it, but at the time being, it's like it was at first. It's like what the fuck is gonna happen? Who knows?
Well, the news media, they don't help.
Yes.
They spin their own little speed bump on them and scare the hell out of everybody, and oh my God, it's gloomsday's coming. I mean, we're all screwed, and you better do this. Well, the time to be prepared for this stuff is not then. Yeah. If you weren't ready by then for some of this shit, well,
It's kind of a little late for that.
Right.
And I think the positive part of that is I think that it taught a lot of people that lesson, including myself.
Yeah.
I think it taught a lot of people, like, hey, you know what? Remember when you needed that really bad? Well, you should have had that already a fucking year or 2 ago already, or you should have had that shit already planned out. So I that is one thing that I learned with that is like, yeah, you're right. Maybe you should have been a little bit more prepared for shit like that.
I canned.
Yeah.
I was a hoarder back before hoarding was bad for canning jars because you couldn't find a canning jar, or a fucking lid to put on it, for fuck's sake.
Really?
I mean, it was terrible. And I got through with no problem because I had enough already long before that happened, so they couldn't, I wasn't the evil guy that took them all off the fucking shelf,
Yep.
But being smart enough and prepared that I had 20, 30 extra cases of jars and probably 1,000 fucking lids. Okay, that's fine. We'll get through this speed bump, and these people are buying this shit off semi-trucks, hiding it in their garage, trying to charge $50 for a fucking case of jars.
Yeah.
To screw the next guy. Well, that's all they were doing. I hope they still got that shit shoved up their ass and sitting in their garage, and they can sit on that shit. But they were going to try to make a bad situation and make money off it.
Yeah.
That's not very neighborly,
Well, shit, look, you reload primers.
Yeah.
Did you see how expensive some primers got?
Very.
Especially for a small rifle. I mean, all of them.
Terrible.
They were all fucking like super expensive. They marketed them up, tremendously, over doubled the price on some of them.
And my understanding, I follow a lot of it, it's going to get worse. First of the year. The powder and stuff is bad. I can't find it, can't get it. And they're out there, they still got it. You got to do your footwork. You got to put some mileage on. You got to go check some of these shops. And not just once in a while. You got to keep making the circle. Keep fucking looking, you know. Yep, they got it. And then you just bite the side of your face. Say, yep, they got it. I'll take it. And you put it and you grab it and you got it, you know. Yeah, it costs twice his rate, 3 times the rate. But not having it's worse than spending the money now.
It's true.
You know.
Yep.
And we got change. We got to have some change. And anybody thinks that we're better off now than we were 3 years ago.
I don't see it.
No. I mean, you ain't watching your bank accounts. You ain't watching your 401ks, or you ain't eating. Because all these people are still going to the same fucking grocery store. Yep. They're still putting the same fuel in. They got to still heat their houses, you know, that we live in. Most of the time are frigid by now. That costing you more money. Why is that? You know, we don't want to, you know, get into, because that'd be a whole nother show, because we really could get into some of that, because there's no more you this side or that side. You better pick a fucking side, you know, and you should be on the best side, you know. And if all hell breaks out ever loose in this country, I wonder what side these people are going to want to be on then.
I'm very curious.
You know.
Yep.
And we can talk, you know, gun controls and all this other shit. Of course, they want to take this shit away. This country was made and fought, and my grandparents fought and shit for this country, fought 2 wars. They would be spinning in their fucking grave watching what this shit's going on now. This absolutely not the country that these people are fighting for. I mean, we work on a military base, for Christ's sake, and it's absolutely ridiculous to know that we got these people defending our country in the best that they can do with almost one hand tied behind their back, because with some of our regime that we got running this country, you know, and it's absolutely insane.
Even with the freedom of speech nowadays, seems like that's getting limited.
Well, sure,
so
they're
much.
going to tie your hands, because you know, they just shut you off. If you're not talking the way they want to hear or something, they just push the button. You know, and it's shows like this. You know, there's a lot of really great people to listen to out there. You know, that are political. I mean, they're talking. They're showing the ropes. They're doing their research every day. That's all they do. You know. And there's a lot of good ones out there. And if it wouldn't be a handful of them, there'd be people left in the dark. And it's just to take your time and do a little checking on. Maybe, you know, oh, he's full of shit, he don't know. Well,
Do your due diligence.
And do a little checking on it.
Yep.
Maybe he was full of shit, you know. And I'm not here to push my thoughts or my beliefs on anybody, and neither most of us ain't. But there's some people that need to wake up, you know. If they don't think shit's screwed up or maybe hit the fan, maybe it won't. Maybe I hope it never does. But I think we're on a bad road, you know. And we're older. You guys got kids. I mean, you will eventually. But these kids have got to grow up in this country, and every one of these kids that are getting born or starting in this country are so far in fucking debt that the day that they're born, they owe gobs of money. I mean, this country's not paying that back. You know, they just keep grabbing, borrowing, because we're giving. You know, it's great. I understand, you know, there's people that need help. I have no issues with that. But when you give some of these foreign countries all this money, and they're spending that money on shit that they probably shouldn't, you know, not for the common good of the people, you know, how much of that is getting turned back into stuff that can hurt our own people in this country, you know?
It's very true.
And it's a sad deal. It's all the way around. I think it's fucked up, you know, for sure.
You know, that's kind of the going back to just like doing your check-in on your homework with some of the stories you hear. That's another thing that you kind of got to be careful for too, in a way, is because you can find anything that you want to believe true on the internet. Anything you want to believe, it's out there. If you could say that this bird is blue, and you could find a link on there saying why it's actually red.
Right.
And there'd be a whole ass debate about it too.
Yeah. And that's the thing where it's so hard, where it's like, fuck. It's like, I think that we're at a point where there's so much information out there now that it's like, what the fuck do you believe for some of it? Like you said, the news. I don't watch the news. I don't listen to any of that shit because honestly, it's just negative energy, and I don't want to be around it.
It's all depressed.
It is.
It's all sad shit.
It is.
That's all it is.
It is. Keep you in a hole, man. You know, it's
Gloom
like,
and doom. Gloom and
Yep.
doom.
Yep. But
I
that's
like
another
how.
thing.
Go ahead.
Oh, but like that's another thing. Like with the social media platforms, like on Facebook.
Mhm.
I was on Marketplace. I'm still banned on Marketplace. I can't fucking go on Marketplace because I tried posting a night vision scope on there. It's been over a month now. I can't go on. It won't let me go on Marketplace. It did warn me 2 times saying that my account could be banned. And I figured that they would forget about it after a couple months.
Oh,
you
no,
know?
they don't forget about it.
No, they don't. So yeah, I'm still banned on that. I'm still waiting for that to come through yet. But
That's crazy.
yeah, it's a night vision scope. But I go on there and I
Right.
can see other scopes listed on there. And the one I didn't even label it. I just put message for more details in a picture of the box. And then it said it posted up active. And I was like, oh shit, okay, it worked. Fucking 5 minutes later, I see on there like, oh, it didn't follow our guideline policies, whatever, and you can no longer sell. So now I still go on there yet. It says you can no longer sell or buy on Marketplace. I'm like, you fuckers.
Well, yeah.
That's how they control you right there. You know?
And it's something not. It's not even a weapon.
Right.
No.
It's accessory.
Yeah.
You know.
You could have took that night vision scope and went looking for Tweety birds.
Yeah.
I mean,
could find a reason.
Never said it had to be on a gun.
Right.
Right.
Little
There's-
loophole.
Yeah. I mean, you're looking and seeing wildlife in the dark.
Yep. Use it as a monocular.
Right.
You know?
You know, but they got to take everything to the next extreme.
Yep.
You know,
But Jim, you can go post a picture on Instagram with your little man thong on, no problem.
No problem.
And they won't cancel you for that.
Really?
Though. You can well
No,
look
because
at
you're influenced.
Look
You
at
could be an influence.
Yeah.
How fucked up is that?
look at all these girls that are pretty much like I mean, granted, I don't ever go on Instagram or any of that stuff, but just in general, as you hear it all the
Look
time.
around. Look
Or
around.
just like look at on how like the skimpy clothes that they can just broadcast out like it's no problem, or I have nothing against like gays or whatever, but
Right.
like how they can go and push all of that agenda and all that's fine.
And the
That's good to go.
medication and the
which is cool.
fucking-
That's cool. Whatever.
right? Right.
But I can't go post my scope or you know what I mean? It's funny on how if it fits their criteria, everything's good to go. Or the medicines. Look at all the medicines they give you out nowadays. For some of the shit that
Pushing
I
it.
believe where they just give you a pill for this. Fix this. Oh, well now your side effect is for this, so now you gotta take this pill. And now take this pill. And pretty soon you're on 15 different fucking medications
Right.
just to cover all the fucking
And
know?
that's what you feel bad for some of these. I just happened to go to the doctor this week. I'm not very good about going there.
yeah.
You know, that they actually throw my paperwork away after, 8-10 years. They just, have you ever come to this clinic before?
Yeah.
All my life. Oh, well, you're not a very good, no, you're right. I'm not a very good patient. But, you can't be just popping them all that medication. And then you got to feel bad for some of the elder generation. Their little bit of money that they got, they work all their lives for. And they're spending it all on this goddamn medication or the pills or stuff like that. It's just insane. Well, we really, can't buy the groceries we really need because it's medication month. Half of their paycheck or 3/4 is going to go to help pay for the goddamn pills.
When really I feel that most of the medication, and I'm just generally speaking for a lot of it, but my opinion is on a lot of it is look at a lot of the health conditions nowadays. Look at the foods that are out there. Look at the food choices people make. Now, granted, I'm not perfect in any means, but we do try to stick on a fairly healthy diet. We
Right.
try to stay away from a lot of junk food. And I tell you what, by doing that, I've never felt better before in my life. By taking good vitamins, not the cheap Walmart brands or whatever, but actually spending
The
the
money.
extra $10, $15 extra on some bottles of vitamins, taking better care of my health, and just eating better on how much better I feel.
Yep.
And I'm still young, and I feel really good. Like I feel really good, and just eating healthy. And it's like, look at I don't know. It's just I think a lot of it has to do with just the foods people eat nowadays, and just generally speaking, you're a home cook. I
Right.
mean, you're
I eat.
obviously we just talked about
Right.
your quarter-mile garden that you got.
Absolutely, because I know what it took to grow it. I know what
Yep.
went in it. I know there ain't no shit sprinkled in it or added to it, or there's some things that you cannot sprinkle on your food to keep a bag of broccoli nice and bright green, and If I would have went and picked that out of my garden and put it in a Ziploc and something that was from one of the local grocery stores, and we dropped it in a shelf and I come back 2 weeks later, yeah, mine would have probably been brown or shriveled up by then. But what did they have to do to that one in the bag to keep it looking like that, you know? Or a lot of these fruits and stuff are gassed in the back of a truck. They pick that shit as green as a cob, they throw it in the back of a semi-truck, they're gassing that goddamn truck, they slam in the doors, and they tell that driver to start heading her. You got 3 days, or the shit's going to be rotten in the back of this truck because it's going to ripen as they drive down the road. So when they get there, well, there's no way that ripe shit would make it, you know, all the bouncing and the there'd be juice running out of the back of this truck.
Yep.
You know, you can't, you know, all this additive, all this bullshit, you know, I can all my own spaghetti sauces, all that shit is by scratch. And I ain't adding none of this other bullshit to it, you know what? It's got to be better for you. You know, it's got to be more healthy, I would think.
You would think you'd look
You
in the
know.
back and look at the back of the bag, nothing but fucking just acids and some long, weird names.
Right, that you can't pronounce, and
Yeah.
now you're going to eat it because they
You don't
say
know what the fuck's in
you
there.
fucking don't
You
know
don't know.
what they did to that.
I don't know who did it, what it touched, all that bullshit, you know? And that's what I find sweet. Because you have a room dedicated to canning.
One whole room is this is a stock room.
Yeah.
That's floor to ceiling. There's hundreds and hundreds of carts and dry goods and all that shit is. It's just over the years there's shelvings and that's all automatic shelving and everything else in the damn thing. That's one whole room is just for that.
That's like that preparing for that doomsday. Like, that is my definition of preparing.
I won't be starving to death anytime soon.
No.
That's like kind of going back a little subject here. Like with the medication, like say if shit were to go wrong, like say with the elderly people, like all the medication, I'm not sure. I'm sure a lot of them do need it, you know.
Right.
But like, say the ones that don't necessarily need it, where it could get fixed mentally somehow, you know.
Right.
Like if shit goes wrong and medication is not getting pumped out,
But they're going to be the first screwed.
what the fuck, you know? Like
That's,
if they're waiting for it, like if you know a few
Oh, yeah.
people, like
Well-
I got to go to the pharmacy, get my pills, whatever the fuck. That's how they live.
right.
Well, if shit happens, and well, now what? Well, Granny ain't getting her ibuprofen,
Right.
Yeah.
you know.
Well, it was no different when COVID hit.
Same, yeah.
You couldn't get aspirins, you couldn't get Tylenol. All of that stuff was ripped off the shelves first because people were saying, "Oh my God, I should get ready." You know, this could go wrong, that could go wrong. I mean, you head down towards the cities or whatever, and you get a big snowstorm come in. You won't find a gallon of milk or a loaf of bread, or you won't find none of that shit on the shelf. But I think if you ain't kind of ready for a 3-day storm to run through your place, or because we got a blizzard in Minnesota.
That's so true.
If you can't go for a few days without heading to town, you probably ain't very fucking prepared.
That's very
For the
true.
worst.
That's a good way to put it.
You know,
Honestly, yep.
I mean, I don't want to sound like that. Oh boy, he's the doomsday guy for sure, and he's prepared for absolutely the worst shit. Because then they're thinking, oh my God, maybe he's a fucking nutcase in the head. But it didn't cost me any extra to be ready, you know, for a bad snowstorm coming
Right.
through, you know,
Right.
that I might not be able to travel to town for 10 days or something, you know. But
Yeah.
we can make her. And see, you guys are also, I know you guys are working out together and stuff, and that's great. We have a great spot to do it, you know. But it's also the time you two get to spend together, you know. That's a big thing too. Hey, let's work out together, and it makes got to make it much more enjoyable. I would think, because now you're not doing it by yourself. Because if you're doing it by yourself, well, that sucks ass, you know. Maybe a little competition down the road or whatever, and even this podcast you guys do together, it's putting you two together to have a little time and bullshit with somebody or whatever, and stuff, and that brings me back to where we kind of were before. You know, when I bump into you guys here and there, and the cookouts and the different things. Great conversations. You know, you helped me bring some of the stuff back to the house, and we must have shot the bullshit for 2 more goddamn hours in the shop.
Yep.
Just over nothing, you know. But that just shows character on your guys' part that, you know, an old duff like me, you know, are willing to sit there and spend time to enjoy my time talking to you guys, you know.
It's vice versa as well.
You know.
Yep.
And spin off bullshit on each other a little bit, and all, poof, where did the time go? You know,
That's so true.
You know, we're not down in the basement hiding playing fucking Pac-Man somewhere.
That's right.
And mom's hollering down to you, hey, come on up because you can have your goddamn peanut butter sandwich, or throw the fucker down the steps because they don't want to see the kids or they don't want to spend the time with the kids.
Yeah.
And it's insane. We live in this, it's winter, but it's been a beautiful winter.
It has been.
Go spend some time out. Go do something, and get some exercise, and just go for walks, go for the ice fishing trips or get something done, do some projects.
There's shit out there to do.
There's
Absolutely.
shit to do every day,
That's like with you and I going to the gym, I feel like it kind of holds us to a standard.
100%,
Like
yep.
I feel we keep each other in check, and like as in like a business idea or anything, it's the person to talk to. And like that's how you reflect your ideas or your whatever the fuck you want to do. Like, hey, what's your honest thoughts about this? Like, do you see something I don't see? And that's what I find sweet with just the podcast as well, is sitting people down like yourself. We talk to a lot of people during the day,
Mm-hmm.
but like for the viewers out there who don't really get to do that and don't really know the people that we know, like what did you experience? Like I love listening to stories. I love meeting new people, and it's just expanding the conversation. That's all.
And it's just it's fun doing it too.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's a blast listening and me with the camera and the stuff. It's maybe not my thing, but you kind of forget about it.
You do.
You just kind of we're three guys sitting here shooting the shit, and we're hitting multiple different little subjects, and maybe the subject's not your deal. Well, here, wait 5 minutes, we'll change it, son of a bitch. We'll talk about something else, and maybe you'll be interested in it. You know?
Like obviously, I was a little nervous doing this. Just 'cause I'm not used to the cameras and the microphone. Like this wasn't me. But a few years ago or a year ago, actually, it just kind of occurred to me like, okay, we got to do something, and I found this is the best way to do it.
And it'll gain, people out there. I'm sure there'll be more
we're
and more
getting better.
people.
Fucking cameras are barely working half the time. We're making our way there. That's the excellent deal about it. But
We're learning again.
Yep.
It's going to get better and better with time. There'll be more and more people watching. And the guy will get more relaxed. The more you guys sit there in front of the camera or shooting the shit with the other guy, it'll be second nature.
it is, like another home. Absolutely, yep. That's something that's kind of. Even now, I feel a lot more comfortable compared to like the first videos and shit, and it's coming on. And obviously, the more time we spend sitting here talking, you loosen up. You kind of find a home a little bit. But I like that.
I think the biggest thing is for me, even being on here, and even now, like every time you come on here, it's like, you just kind of gotta just fuck it, It is. People are gonna say what they're gonna say regardless, but that's what's nice with it. Just like. You can't please everyone anyways, so you may as well just be yourself and just say fuck it.
Well, see, that's the bad thing is we're living in a time now that that might hurt somebody's fucking feelings, or he swore on there, or he this or that. Well, if it hurts you get butt hurt and you don't like it, either you scroll past it, or don't punch the son of a bitch and don't watch it at all. You don't like it. Fuck it.
There's a million other fucking people you can listen to.
Right. We're not, I'm sure you guys ain't, none of us are here to piss anybody off.
Nope.
Or they talked about this, or they talked about, you don't like it? Fucking scroll by. There's too many people that get too butthurt too fucking easy.
Yeah.
Over shit. I think as soon as we start giving trophies to even the losing team, we can't do that. That's what I think is you turn this country into a bunch of fucking pansy ass son of bitches, Hey, there's a loser and there's a winner. If you want to be on the winning team, you better try harder. Maybe put a little more effort in it. Maybe do that extra runs, the extra workouts. Put your time in. It's these, unfortunately, you can't be a winner all the time.
Yep.
But you can't tell the difference between winning and losing if there's no difference. You got to set your fucking standards here. Well, why bother? We're going to get a trophy. We're going to get a pat on the back.
Where's the drive?
There's none.
How the fuck are you going to grow? Obviously, someone needs to tell you you're going to suck. Just to fucking grow.
Right.
It's like rewatching these podcasts. Like, yeah, dude, like I pick up a lot of different stuff, what I want to change, what I got to do different. That's how you fucking grow. If everyone's telling you you're doing great, well, you're going to be shit. If they lie to you, whatever it is,
They're lying.
It's the same deal what you're talking about. Absolutely.
Right.
That's one thing that I feel like we both hold each other accountable to is where we're both very honest with each other. with things, or you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
How
we are.
I'll bring something up to Riley about that, and I hope that he tells me like, hey, dude, like you gotta fucking straighten out, or you should,
Right.
like that or that. Like I think that is one good thing where you actually have someone true,
Honest,
and
true.
Sarah's very good that way too. For me too, she's very a real person
Keeps you
too.
on top.
Like
Look
not
like
gonna just tell you to tell you. They're
Right.
gonna tell you the fucking truth.
down to earth.
Yeah.
I if you ask me the second or third time, tell me the truth, you're gonna get the truth. I'm not gonna fucking sugarcoat it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But don't ask the second time.
Yep.
If I didn't answer you the first time, probably was your reason why you didn't get an answer.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to hurt your feelings, and I wasn't gonna piss you off. But and that's happened over the years. That somebody asks you, well,
It's not fun to do.
no,
Yeah.
and I'm not here. I didn't want to hurt you, fucker. But yeah, you asked me the second time. Yeah, well, yeah, you're kind of were an asshole the other night or something,
Yep.
or you shouldn't have did that,
Yep.
But that's what's going to come out of my mouth,
That's
I
how.
don't want to sit there and lie to you.
Yeah.
But I never was brought up. Liars and thieves, pretty standard. Didn't like neither. So I wasn't much on either. What comes back down to it's kind of how you've been taught. How back to the conversation we were before. But if you didn't have a good teacher or good parents or whatever to kind of show you the right direction you probably should go, you got a chance. If that wasn't in that works, you probably don't have the best chance in the world. That you're going to have a background of, stealing and thieving and whatever. Well, if you come from a background like that or expecting something for nothing, we'll just run to the fucking mailbox, and that's how my living is. And unfortunately for us, we go to work every day. We put our boots on, we get dirty. But we all sleep good at night too.
Yeah.
Knowing that we did whatever we could to put the food on the table or toys for your kids or,
Anything.
heat's on, the roof's over. I went to bed. I earned that shit,
I seen on the news this last weekend or something in the cities. There was these three kids, probably 12, 13, and 15, something like that. I think they jumped a grandma, pushed her to the ground, maybe threw a few swings at her and tried. I don't know if they tried stealing a purse or if they did. But yeah, obviously they got caught. But it's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, you're young. What are you in 7th grade?
Yeah. Good spanking, swift kick in the ass. Ain't gonna hurt none of them.
Nope.
Yeah, you might be, butt hurt for a little bit, but maybe next time I'm gonna think about maybe not jacking some poor grandma that's walking down the fucking sidewalk and you're gonna steal her purse.
Yeah.
Come on.
You really got to see with, it is obviously the upbringing of the parents and all that good stuff. But man, if a kid, I feel, doesn't get attention at home, kind of going back to what you were talking about even earlier in the podcast, just kind of like spending time with your kids
Right.
and doing shit. But how easy is it to find a group of kids that you feel more accepted into that does that bad shit? And then now it's a lot easier for you. You feel accepted by them more than your parents, even though they wouldn't do that shit. And they know you shouldn't do that. But you feel way more accepted to hang out with these kids that do that. And I could easily see why you would get wrapped up in that. Just like they say, that old saying, show me your friends, I'll show you your future. Or,
correct.
Oh, absolutely.
that's very true. Who you hang
Yep.
around is who you become, But yeah, that's the other sad part of that too. And, and I think just naturally, I think God's made everyone how they're going to be. Not always, things may not be genetically all the time, and I think just some people, just that's the way
A little
they're
extra,
supposed to be.
little extra guidance sometimes I think gonna go a long ways.
Absolutely.
Oh, 100%.
Just
100%.
I pick
or
up
keep your
exactly.
eyes open.
Yep.
It's just even some of the teachers or the neighbors or whatever, fellow friends or whatever. Just if you can help out, you can take some of these young kids and take them for a fishing trip, or take them out on a camping trip or something. Spend a little extra time, and that might be a whole different avenue or road that some of these kids are going to go down
And
instead of the wrong road or the right road. But they don't know which one to be on
Yeah.
because nobody told them
Mm-hmm.
or showed them, hey, we can try this or go down this road once and maybe you'll enjoy this shit.
That's what I was kind of thinking about even when you were teaching them kids about the fly fishing stuff, making the flies and stuff. I mean, just like you said, you may not know, but maybe there was a kid in there that really was going through a tough time.
Yeah.
And maybe that was something that stuck with him. And he, like you said, to this day might be still doing it. That's his freed mind thought. That's his getaway, you know? And just to teach that nowadays, I feel like that's such a lost thing now. People are pulling away so much from that outdoorsy stuff that it takes away the true meaning, I feel, of being out in the woods and actually being grounded to earth and just being there, you know? I mean, now everything's so fucking, the phone, the technology, to this, everything's got to be now, you know, for everything. And it's like just to take a step back and just fucking breathe a little bit.
That's so true.
You know?
Just technology. It's made it too easy.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the funnest little trips I do is with none of that shit. You know?
Nope.
The other day I went out and looking for coyotes because the coyotes are coming up to the house and I got 3 little doggies and I got the automatic collars and you can push the button and here it's easy peasy and the way it goes. The old mouth calls yet, old school, and by God, I got one, you know? I mean, they call them in, it's cool as shit, you know?
Yep.
You felt that you really earned it when you did it the old school way. You know, I didn't have to have the batteries. I didn't have to have the major technology to do it, you know? And just spending I was by myself, you know? A couple hours out in the boonies and just relaxing and nobody screwing with you, you know? And the best times in the world, just to spend it out sitting in the woods or along a creek somewhere and just relax, you know. Nobody screwing and fucking with you. And just, I think it's the best, you know.
That's something.
And there's a lot of kids that never get to experience it, you know. So if you can bring them or the neighbor's kids or something, you know, bring them with. I mean, shit. I mean, it's very little effort for maybe a really big reward, you know.
And you would have no idea what the impact you left on someone.
It could go on for generations.
Absolutely, yeah.
That was even like bringing Bennett out deer hunting this year.
Yep.
He's a little over 3 years old, you know. So Bradley, he brought his blind over and he set it up for us before we got there. And, you know, Bennett and I just right off the main trail, you know, he's a little, we're just going out there. He wanted to go deer hunting. And to this day, sometimes he still comes up to me with my little camo chair that he's had. And it's just a little one, you know. And he puts it on his shoulder and he pretends it's his gun. And he always comes up to me and he said, Dad, let's go deer hunting. Let's go deer. So we pretend in the house we go deer hunting, you know, and he just loves it. And to this day, yeah, still from going deer hunting yet. And it's funny because he would sit there and, you know, of course, Mama would pack him up his little metal lunchbox can full of snacks and, you know, all the good. That's like the fucking fun of it. You know, when you're little like that, you know.
Because you got about zero chance of seeing deer. I mean, about zero. I mean, it's close to zero. There might be a blind deaf one out there, but that don't happen too damn often. But they can watch the squirrels. They can watch the rabbit that ran by, you know. He's going to be so entertained. It's better that than the TV, you know. Yeah. The TV's full of shit. Yep. Mother Nature's not full of shit. I mean, she's going to show it how it is, when it is, real time. Mother Nature will do that every time. A fucking idiot box and hanging on the wall. That's what it is. It's all that is a big pacifier for a lot of people that have kids, you know, because they don't want to deal with the time. Here you go. Here's your movie, and here's your just sit there and watch that. Well, that's fine. That's good. Don't get me wrong. But if you had the time and you took that hour and you went out and you were looking for agates, I mean, whatever, going for a walk down the dirt road looking for anything, just picking up pop cans is better than probably watching a dum-dum box. Yeah. At least you're cleaning up the environment. You're doing your part to keep everything looking nice, you know, instead of chucking shit out on the road, you know, but different philosophies for everything, you know, but
that's a good sense because that's like growing up, like at my age, you know, what am I, 20? So it's like when I was maybe 4 or 5, whatever, like I remember playing like dirt bikes and Hot Wheels in the sand, you know, like the technology, it was there, but it wasn't accessible. Now, like with your kids, they have everything to them. I mean, not that they use it or nothing, but like they have all the fucking technology right there, and it's more easy to get on. Yeah. You know, then back then it's like you might have to go to school and use a box computer or something to play a penguin game.
It's funny because now it really makes me feel old. You know, our phones actually had cords. You know, that's as far as you could go. As far as the cord, you wanted a private conversation, you headed down the basement, stretch that cord,
Right around the corner.
shut the fucking door. You know, I mean, and nowadays, I mean, hell, we all carry one, and it's 2 seconds away from. I mean, to watch just even my lifetime from this to this is a huge, huge change in some of the technologies and shit with satellite TVs and the satellite phones, and there was none of that shit. But maybe that's why we grew up the way we did too, because there wasn't them options. Them options weren't around. You know, you weren't going to sit there and play on your phone and play all these games. You wanted to go play. You grabbed your shit and you went outside.
Yep.
That's what you did. You know.
But well, Jim, I I got one question for you.
Oh, make a good one.
Being that it's a new year,
Yeah.
I gotta ask, what's the new gym looking like for 2024?
Well, hopefully, maybe a little thinner.
Huh?
Well, maybe I'll have to come to the workout session with you
They
boys.
come in the mornings.
Yeah, damn right.
We'll put the big pipes on.
All right, get some creatine for you.
I don't know if I can keep up to you,
fuck.
you
I'm
young
winded.
fellers.
You've been lifting logs your whole life. Of course you could fucking keep up with us. God dang.
For an older guy anyway. I mean, I keep up. I can run. I mean, some of the younger generation might be
If you can hang in, man.
I
that's all
can.
that
Yeah,
matters.
it's gonna take a good younger 20-year-old. I mean, to keep up some days.
I'm right with you there.
I try to go.
Nope.
I push hard, you know, but that'll be all my life. That's how it'll be.
So is that the new you? New you for new year?
Maybe a little more understanding on some things or whatever.
Nope.
You know, try some new things. You know, you got to try a new thing once in a while. You know.
I agree. Yep.
You know, and maybe learn a new trick or something once in a while too. You know, but it's always a learning curve. You know, and it was great spending time with you two boys for sure.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
And maybe tomorrow, guy, if you want, swing on through. I mentioned before, well, maybe we'll have a adult beverage or something around the house, and
A little get together.
I think we'll fire up the grill, of course. And, you know, maybe
You know what's ahead.
a little snack. You know, no frozen pizzas at my place for New Year's Eve. I mean, that won't happen.
All right. Trav, what's your new year going into the new year? What are you looking at?
Oh God. I think definitely just progress my diet, keep it strong. I want to adjust some things and kind of just get a little bit more strict on it a little bit. Obviously, same with the working out. I want to just keep staying disciplined on that. Other than that, I think just becoming a better father and, you know, a spouse, and just be a better person ultimately. That's my main goals, what I want to do.
Good. I like that. Once again, appreciate you coming on the Revamp Podcast.
Thank you, boys.
Yeah, thank you for the good stories.
Well,
You know, I'm sure everyone else appreciated it on there too. There's a lot of good information, and yeah, that was awesome. I'm super glad that you wanted to be on. And
hell yeah. One of these days, maybe if I want to take her on the road, warmer, nicer, outside or something, bring one of them cameras. We can
I'll be game.
show her around a little bit, show maybe the old sawmill running and
Yep.
yeah,
a few projects if a guy wants to look at any of that.
We got 5 cameras. I don't know. We got one working. That's
Oh, we're down to one. And then the one that shouldn't be.
Yeah, I know. Jesus.
That's the one I was hoping would break.
Well, yeah, no, I'd definitely like to see it. You got a lot of neat shit to see.
good.
But thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the Revamp Podcast, and stay tuned for more. Peace.
Motherfucker, I've been mortified, fortified, feeling like a Mordecai. I ain't regular, feel like Jordan wearing 45. Traumatized, victimized, seen some of my niggas die. Knock you off a base with a bat when them niggas slide. Homicide, genocide.